Recently, I've been getting comments that some of you are stuck in Void Tower, more specifically floor 70s, floor 80, and floor 90, and of course, floor 100. So today, we're going to continue climbing regular Void Tower, and we are going to complete floor 89 and floor 90 together. Let's get into it. Welcome everybody, my name is BearCozy. If you don't know me, I strive to make not only entertaining but also educational videos, and I like to make account progress videos. Now recently, as I've mentioned, I have been receiving comments saying that some of you are stuck in Void Tower because let's face it, not all of us can clear Hard Void Tower. Now for me personally, I got about halfway through Hard Void Tower, not quite to 50, but I got close. But a lot of us are stuck in a normal Void Tower, and I was there myself for a long time. Now, in one of my last Void Tower videos, we cleared floor 75, floor 79, and floor 80 together. Those were the sticky points, primarily because one of the teams had Yolanda, one of the teams had Mathasia, and one of the teams was just a really tanky team. And some of you are stuck and are leaving me comments saying, hey, I'm stuck, what do I do? So in this video, that is exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go over all of my thoughts. I'm going over my team comp, my thoughts as to why I use the teams that I use, and of course, all of their stats. Now, in the last video, this is the team that I used because a lot of you don't have an AoE taunt hero, right? And you may not have Garel as well. You may not have Garonal. So typically in most of my videos, this is what I end up using because it's working really well. I've been using Brand and Nathalia because Brand is really good with the defense shield, and Nathalia needs buffs to activate her trait. Nathalia is a single target nuker, and if she has 4 or more buffs, not only does she affect the whole team, but she will also do 40% more damage, if I remember correctly, based on her trait. So this has been my go-to team. Brand, Nathalia, Lunar Mel, and then either Garonal or Zatlux. That has been working out really well. I've used Antonio as well. In the last video, we completed floor 79 together, floor 80 together, and that worked out really well. And I gave 3 different options for teams that you could possibly use. And if your heroes were not strong enough, you could go in with a joint attack comp like this one. Erendil has joint attack, Opal has joint attack, and Nathalia is just a straight up damage dealer. And so today we're going to continue that trend. Erendil is very easy to get, he is an epic. Nathalia is fairly easy to get, she is an epic as well. And then Opal is a Lego, Brand is a Lego. You do not need Opal. You can use Antonua, who's very easy to get. You can also use a Garonal. You can use Valeria, actually. My Valeria is not built. I've been experimenting with Garonal. She does not have all of her glyphs, but you can use her. You can use Jacob. Jacob's going to be a little bit slower. Of course, you can use William as well. He's not a damage dealer, but there are other options. Marion Shadowblood. There are other options. My Scarlet is built, not geared. I cannot get her damage high enough, probably because she's lacking attack. But at any rate, there's lots of options, lots of heroes that are unbuilt and ungeared. So as you can see, lots of options. I'm still working on Hydrusia. Let's go ahead and use the same team as last time. We're going to jump into it, and we're going to see what we can do. Now, before I forget, let me put all of their stats up on the screen, and we're going to get right into it. All right, now this is a floor 89 of Void Tower. This is regular Void Tower, and as I always mention, I bring Brand because Brand has been working out really nice because Nathalia is not in a guard set. So for me, I find that I get the best survivability there. Now, the first thing I do is I look at the wave count. How many waves do we have? We have 2 waves. Brand's ultimate is on a 4-turn cooldown, so most likely I do not want to use his ultimate until the next turn, so I can always just use his basic here. Opal, of course, can use her ultimate if she gets a kill. Her joint attack extends, and you can see that there. She's got 2 turns right up there. And then Nathalia is just going to nuke away because her ultimate resets if she gets a kill. And Erendil joins in anytime any one of our heroes gets a critical strike. So now that we are on wave 2, Brand has a bunch of focus on him. So I like to start with Brand defense down. He is first, by the way. Brand is first for the buffs. Opal goes second for the joint attack. And then, of course, Nathalia and Erendil. Erendil doesn't need to be fast because he joins in. But Opal does need to go first or very close to first for that joint attack. Now, if you look at her right now, she does have joint attack, and it grants her joint attack with this character's basic ability alongside the attack of any ally, right? So that works out really well. So if she's not going first or very close to first, you are going to be missing out on joint attack, and you do not need her. This is just an option if you don't have really strong heroes that can nuke the enemy team in one shot or one or two shots. This is a really good option because now you're adding in joint attacks, so you don't need a ton of damage. So right now, let's go ahead and see what we can do here. We got a couple of stunners in the back. Cho'Gall over here. Magnar takes a bunch of different turns. Andre's kind of bad as well. So looking at Opal, she is water. Water is strong over fire. Let's go ahead and go for what's his face in the back? I forget his name. Nathan. That's not Jonathan. Nathan, maybe. He does stun. I know his kit. He's got the owl. I just don't remember his name. But we targeting him. Nathalia's strong over fire. We're going to keep working on him. And I guess we'll leave the bear for last because he's going to get deflected. And as you can see, Nathalia did a ton of damage. And then Erendil is going to finish him off right there. So that works out really well. If you are struggling here, if you need to take another turn, continue doing the same that I'm doing. My Nathalia does hit fairly hard because I got her very early in the game, and I actually decided to commit and build her and see if she was any good. And she actually ended up turning out very, very good, but she does need good stats and she does need buffs to make her work. Moving on to floor 90. Here we are on floor 90. The enemy team. Brand, we got Azrina, we got Thomas, and then we got Lydia. Thomas is the guy's name. I forgot his name. I was trying to figure out. I remember his kit, but I did not remember his name, primarily because I'm not really using him. I haven't built him. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in with the same team. This actually can work. If you are struggling, the team that I really like, there are other options. There are several options. If you do bring this team combination, you will most likely have to manual the first turn on Yolanda's buff. I'm not sure if Nathalia is actually going to work. You can bring other heroes. You can bring Blackhorn. Nathalia does need buffs, so I do like to pair her with Brand and Brand's shields as well. Brand provides a shield. Mine is Ascended on his A2, which is very nice, and that provides a much bigger shield. But you can bring Sierra, who's not geared right now. Right now, Garonal has Sierra's gear, and that's why I've been bringing Garonal. And Sierra is actually water, so one thing to keep in mind and to be mindful of, what you don't want to do is you don't want to bring all water heroes because then you're going to struggle, right? This is an all-water team. It can work, however, you are going to get deflected. So I typically tend not to do that, so keep that in mind. Sierra doesn't have any gear. Evira doesn't have any gear. I could probably steal Garonal's gear, and that would work because right now, Garonal is in an Everset, and they are all sharing gear. Evira, Sierra, and Garonal are sharing gear. But for the purposes of this video, let's go in with Brand, let's go in with Nathalia, let's go in with Opal, and Garonal. Garonal is missing glyphs. I always forget to finish glyphing her. I do have Valeria. I just got Valeria. I am working on her. She's not finished yet. She's only level 40, but as soon as she is done, as soon as her glyphs are done, I am going to be using her because I really, really like her. So for the purposes of the video, let's bring Garonal in. Let's bring Nathalia, Opal, and we're going to go in with this team. You can also bring Bulin. We've tried Bulin. You can also bring Brand, just depending on what the enemy team is. And you can also go with a defensive team with Lunar Mel, and that will work out as well. And if you don't have Lunar Mel, one keynote, right now we have Godfrey in the Magic Pass, and Godfrey is actually a lot better than you think he is. Go ahead and check that video. I just made a video on him. I talk about why I think he's really, really good in my opinion. Now, right now I don't have him. I am going to be building him, but he is an option as well if you don't have an AoE taunt hero. Going in to regular Void Tower, floor 90, as some of you are stuck there, I wanted to make a video on this and talk about the team that I use, all of their stats, attack priority, and my thoughts as to why I use the team that I use and why they are in the order that they are. Hey, you're still watching the video. That means you're enjoying the content. And if you're enjoying the content, that means somebody else will also. Click the subscribe button below and help this video reach more people so they can enjoy it as well. So first thing you'll notice is Brand is really fast to buff everybody up. As I always mention, first thing I do is I look at the waves. For me, this is what's been working for me. I found a groove with it. If there are 3 waves, I can go ahead and use Brand's ultimate buffs. and that will work out really nice because they do reset by the time I get there. Now, Opal's going to use her joint attack. If you notice, Opal is very, very fast right after Brand, and that is primarily so she can get a kill, and she can get joint attack on herself. If she does not get a kill, she still puts up joint attack. It just does not get extended. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use Nathalia, because Nathalia's ultimate resets if she gets a kill, and you see that she gets a kill there. She kills all of them. Opal joins in as well. I don't know if you caught that at the end. Geronal is very, very, very slow. Looking on the bottom, that is the turn order of all the heroes going, enemy and ours. And if you see, Geronal's actually after 3 of the orcs, which means she is very slow, but she is in an average set, and that is the best I could do without sacrificing critical strike or crit damage. So right now we are on wave 2. Let's go ahead and use Brand's basic. We're going to save some of the other stuff for the end, and you could see Opal joins in there. Boom. So between the joint attack on Opal, we actually get a kill, and then she actually joins in on the second guy, which is awesome. Nathalia is just going to do her thing. She's going to nuke away. Opal's going to join in again. Now, Geronal so far has not done a thing yet. And you don't need to bring Geronal. You can bring Zatlux. He will work really well. You can also bring a lot of different heroes. I had Erendil in here. Erendil is very easy to acquire. He's very easy to ascend. And he works really, really good because of the joint attack. And if you are struggling, you can always go that route. You do not need Brand. If you are struggling with attack heroes and you don't have enough damage to nuke the enemy team in 1 or 2 turns, here's what you can do. Bring a joint attack team. If you have Opal, bring Opal. If you have Erendil, bring Erendil. If you don't have Opal, you can use Antanua, or you can use Hector, or you can use somebody that hits fairly hard and set up for Erendil with his joint attack, right? So Erendil's very good. Nathalia is very good as well. You can also bring Jacob and just stack up his rage to the end of the turns, to the last turn on the boss. And then if you do not have Brand, what I used to use is Winstrix. Make Winstrix really fast for the buffs. That's all she needs. She needs to go first, buff up your team, and then you can mix and match on who you want to bring. Evira, Valeria, you got Geronal. There are lots of options. Experiment with what you have, but those are the options, right? So if you don't have Brand, use Winstrix and then mix and match your heroes. And if your heroes don't do a ton of crit damage, right? If you're still struggling, if you're still working on gear, bring in a joint attack team as best as you can, because all those joint attacks add up. Now, right now, I brought in Geronal, so we did not bring Erendil. I probably could have. I probably should have. That would have been fine. However, Erendil would be weak to Brand. He is weak to fire. And right now, we got Brand, we got Thomas, and we got Azrina. So that is why I brought Water Heroes and I brought Geronal. So right now, since Brand is going first, we're going to do defense down. Hopefully that lands. That only lands on one of them, which is not the ideal, right? Not the best. But we're going to buff our team up. And then what we can actually do is we can actually do some stuns. So right now, if we look on the target, Brand actually goes last, which is okay. One thing I'm thinking about is using Water Prison to stun Jonathan. Now, why Jonathan? Well, the simple answer is Jonathan stuns our team, and I don't want him to stun Nathalia because we lose a ton of damage. The one thing that I'm concerned with is the enemy Brand will clear debuffs, right? If he uses his ultimate, he will clear the stun debuff. So I am looking on the bottom for the turn order to see if Brand goes first before Jonathan, because then the debuff is wasted, right? The Water Prison is wasted. And looking on the bottom for the turn order, their Brand, the enemy Brand, is actually going last. So right now we can go ahead and stun Jonathan, and it does not land, which is unfortunate. In the previous patches, Water Prison was always landing. However, right now I'm finding it that it's just getting resisted more than 50% of the time. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, but let's go ahead and use Opal. She's next. Let's use her ultimate, which is available, and we're going to target Thomas. Why do I keep calling him Jonathan? His name is Thomas. We're going to target Thomas, see what we can do there, see if we can kill him. If we cannot, I'm sure Nathalia is going next, so I'm sure she can clean him up. I keep calling him Jonathan. I don't know why his name is Thomas. He's got the hooting owl. But at any rate, we ended up killing him, so either we can stun him and buy ourselves some time, or if you have enough crit damage, you can kill him. And then we're just going to unload. We're going to try to kill everybody except for Brand. If Brand dies, that is okay, because Nathalia does do good damage. But you don't need to kill Brand. He does have a lot of life, so if you are struggling, try to kill the other heroes. Maybe leave Lydia, because Lydia's a pain. She just dodges everything. But between Brand and Lydia, they should not be able to kill your team, right? Should be... If we can leave one enemy hero alive, that is my plan. Whatever it be, Brand or Lydia, we can just do that. And then if we can land a taunt, of course, she's just dodging everything. However, at this point, she's not going to be able to do much because of our shields, right? Brand provides really, really good shields. So at this point, we can just kind of take our time and we can work her down slowly. Natalia should kill her if she doesn't dodge. Lydia's such a pain. She doesn't do much, but she dodges everything, and that is kind of unfortunate. So we are just going to have to slow and steady, I guess, till she stops. 50% chance to dodge, dodges 90% of attacks. How does that work? But there we go. So there's the joint attack. So Geronal went in with her basic. Actually, Geronal's ultimate and her special got dodged. Her basic landed, which is surprising. And then with the joint attack from Opal, that ended up working out really, really well. And I'm glad that we got through that. So that is how you clear floor 90 of regular Void Tower, just like that. There are plenty of options, and there are lots of different heroes you can use. And as I've mentioned before, if you do not have Brand, if you don't have Natalia, here's what we can do. We can go ahead and use Antonua. We can probably use, I didn't mean to click on her just yet. I am looking for Winstrix. We can go ahead and use Winstrix for buffs. And for the longest time, I used Winstrix and Antonua. Antonua came from a $5 purchase in the game. Spend $5 to buy anything and you get Antonua free. That is how I got mine, and I honestly thought she was pretty bad, but she's a free hero, so I took her. And then actually she ended up turning out fairly good. I really like her. Now the next one that I really like that is easy to get is Erendil. And if you notice so far, all of these heroes are epics, so these are not very hard to get. Now right now, they're all wood, and that might be a problem, so keep an eye on that. You might have to bring in some other fire heroes, and this team will actually work. You can either bring Aurak. I used Aurak. Aurak works really well. By the way, Aurak doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but he is really, really good as a free-to-play option. I actually made a video on how to get Aurak fully ascended with no shards. You don't have to pull him. You can actually get him right from the bartender, and that is the video that I made, and that worked out really well. If you participate in events, you can actually get all of his matrices right from the bartender, and I actually got 5 copies of mine from the bartender, and that worked out really well. It did take a little bit of time, but as a free-to-play option, I ended up getting Aurak, and he's actually really, really good, or at least he was really good. His damage does fall off right around the time of the dungeons level 12 and 11. He's good in 11. His damage falls off in 12 and above. And as you can see, he is nothing spectacular. He suffers some crit rate. I have not geared him in a very long time. So he's missing some crit rate, and he's got 225 crit damage, which can probably drop for the crit rate. His gear is A-okay, nothing spectacular. As you can see, I had to put him in 5-star rage gear just to be able to get him to 70% crit rate. So he does need some work. However, I have much better heroes now. But if you are struggling in Void Tower, or if you're struggling in any content, I made a full video on how to get him. I will put the link in the description below if I remember it during editing, because he is actually a really good option. So Erendil is a good option. Antonua is a very good option as well. Jacob, if you have Jacob, you might have to manual a little bit till the last turn, but he will work really well with Erendil, because every time Jacob gets a critical hit, Jacob's ultimate expands all rage and enters him into a state of madness, and every time he takes a turn and gets a critical hit, Erendil will actually join in. And then if you have Opal, you can actually get lots and lots of joint attacks, and that is exactly the strategy that I use for my clan boss. So there it is. That is how you clear Void Tower floor 90. I hope that was helpful. Leave me a nice comment down below. In the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to clear the last few floors together, and I'll go through some hero options. I'll give you some options. I'll talk about my thoughts, and then we're going to move into hard Void Tower, as I have not hit it just yet, and I am looking forward to. And then of course, as soon as we clear all of Void Tower, we're going to claim all of our goodies together, because I always like to wait, and I always like to grab the wall of rewards, right? This is what I call the huge wall of rewards. And so running Void Tower is 100% worth it in my mind, because it's very, very easy. And once you clear it once, you can just do multi-battle runs, and you can set it to floor 100, and you can just let it rip. So in the next couple of videos, we are going to go through and we are going to do this together. We're going to complete probably floor 98, 99, and 100 together because those are the sticky points. I hope this video was helpful. I do need a small favor. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. That will help me tremendously to grow my YouTube channel. I am working on getting into the content creator program, and that will help me with resources so I can continue building more heroes and I can continue making videos and guides on different heroes and different content. And of course, that will help my progress. So it helps everybody if you hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, that will help me. And in return, I will make more videos to help the community. So that would be amazing. Also, don't forget to smash that like button. That will be awesome. I thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.